Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly. And I'm delighted to be joined today by David Siewers, who is the International Chief Sales Officer at Azamara Cruises, as we can see from your backdrop, David.
Beautiful, right? I'm blocking the ship a bit, but if I move aside, you'll see another beautiful figure back there.
There she is. Yeah, there she is. But it's still lovely to see your face. We prefer to see you than a ship. Come on.
Absolutely.
You're in the UK. I mean, we're going to see each other tomorrow, of course, for real. But I wanted to bring you on for an interview so we can talk to travel agents because you have got you've been at Azamara for a little while, but you've now got a new role in the UK, haven't you, as well?
I do. So we're just about hitting month 5 of now being at Azamara. And we did recently announce a change. So we were talking about what the future of Azamara looks like in the UK. And what we really felt is that it's just so important that as our second largest market, we have the shortest bridge possible between the UK and Miami. We're a small brand, we're 4 ships. We have the opportunity to be agile, nimble, easy to work with. So, with great leaders out here across sales, across marketing, why not just make sure those leaders can report directly into me now as the Chief Sales Officer of International? I'll be spending about 50% of my time out here to work directly with them. And then I race that feedback back to Miami, sit in the executive leadership meetings, and make sure we fully represent the UK interest in
Yeah.
every single one. So
And I
changes
know
are
you
hard.
you love being here as well, don't you? So I know we're going to see quite a lot of you. You're not going to be just in Miami, with the information being fed back to you there.
Absolutely not. No, this is my happy place. I actually just had our HR team over here and they said, you just look happier when you're on this side of the pond. And it's absolutely true.
Oh, well, we're very thrilled to see you all every time you come over. So that is great. We should just acknowledge, though, you are sort of, well, you've removed a role then, haven't you, in the UK? There was a UK MD specific role, wasn't there here? That was David Duff, who'd been with the brand for a long time, 17 years. So you've taken that role out completely. And I guess I'm just giving you the chance to explain that, because some people might look at that and go, well, hold on. Does that mean the UK is less important? But maybe you want to just address that.
Absolutely, and perfectly fair question. The incredible David Duff set up a foundation that I'm so incredibly grateful for. He hired an incredible team, set up a great office, and got our brand name known out there, which we're so incredibly grateful for. But no, really what this change was about, which I think he was a great partner in coming to an understanding about, is we want to elevate the voice of the UK. And when you're a small brand of just 4 ships, you don't need to go through too many layers of approval and too many layers of management to get that feedback heard, especially when you've hired such an incredibly talented team. So,
Yeah.
no, the UK is our second largest market. 90% of it is coming from our travel partners, which we are so incredibly proud of and is driving all the decisions that we're making now. But we have the ability to get that feedback and really action it a bit quicker than some of the
Yeah.
larger brands. And so we want to take advantage of that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for explaining that. And you mentioned the UK market. When I interviewed Donja actually back in May, she was also talking about the importance of this market. She said at the time that the UK guest was both they returned more and
Mm-hmm.
they booked a higher category of cabin. So that makes them pretty valuable to you. Has that continued, David? And is that how you see that sort of, continuing into forward business?
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly is true of the demographic of the UK audience, which is why we want to make sure as we go through the deployment decisions, when we go through our pricing and our promotion strategy, that all of that is resonating with the UK guest. And it also makes sense for how we service our guests. We want to make sure we've still got a strong local sales team to work with our travel partners on the specific needs of the UK guests. And from a call center perspective, when they call in, we want to make sure we've got a local call center that knows, where Piccadilly Circus is, where the tube goes, that they can speak their language and understand on their hours and to their needs of how they like to vacation.
Yeah. I mean, I was staggered by the results of having a UK call center. I think, you opened it only recently. And then in the first 4 months, you said that your conversion rate had increased by 67%.
That sounds about right. And it continues to get even better. And I just think that's the importance of speaking to people in their way, in their culture, and on their time. You have
Yeah.
to do it if you want to connect with that audience and grow in
Yeah.
that region.
Yeah. Because that's fantastic. And we do know, having spoken to a lot of agents, a lot of our readers, we knew that was a little bugbear for them. So that clearly is one thing you've addressed since listening
Absolutely.
to agents. I know tech is another thing that you've been investing heavily in. You might want to talk about that. But it brings us on nicely, doesn't it? Because one of the reasons you're here this time, David, is because you are holding a brilliant new initiative. You've got the first agent advisory or trade advisory panel under your stewardship. So
Yeah.
that's taking place this week, isn't it? So tell us a little bit about that. I mean, I think we were chatting, you saying you did do that a while ago, but not since COVID, but you clearly feel it's important to bring it back.
So much so. It's been quite some time. There's few in our team who remember even when it happened, and so certainly not under my leadership. So this is going to be absolutely critical. North America already had a brand council that was set up for Azamara, so of course we were still getting trade opinions in terms of the decisions we were making,
Yeah.
all those categories: pricing, promotion, product. But we weren't necessarily getting that feedback in a more formalized way from our UK travel partners. We're over 20% of the overall business. That's huge from a global perspective and for our industry. So what we did is we went out, we reached out to 10 of our partners. We tried to be as charismatic, as we could about it and go out and make sure that we got different geographies, different business types. We got frontline advisors, we got portfolio managers, we got agency owners. And what we really want to do is take them under the hood. We were actually going through the presentation today and said, you know what, we don't even have visuals of this yet. We don't have answers to these 5 questions yet. But if we wait until the very end, what we're really just doing is going through the motions of getting travel partner feedback, but we kind of have our idea in mind. We're bringing these partners in from the very beginning and saying, hey, listen,
so
this is our brand.
This is not lip service, is what you're saying. This is not just a
Exactly.
show. You really want Watson, or you want their feedback because you want to act on it.
We want to act on it. We want to shape it. And if you tell us, hey, listen, this is gonna clunk with how the UK guest likes to package their vacation, and it's not necessarily thinking about this particular aspect of the business, or it's not going to work with this launch time frame. We are so early in the process that we have the ability to really shape it. And so that's what I love about this partner advisory panel. And I'm so grateful that we had so many people raise their hand to be a part of it and are actually attending in person tomorrow.
Okay, so 10 lucky people. So they have to give you their time. How often are you going to be meeting with them?
So we're going to do it twice a year. So we're going to do one virtual because we know it's a lot to try to bring everyone together from different geographies, and we'll do one in person. And then as things come up throughout the year, if we've got a really brilliant idea or one that we think is really brilliant, we'll call them together on an ad hoc basis as well.
And then what's the quid pro quo? What do they get in return for their giving you their insight and their views? I mean, do they get sort of access to special events or ship visits? What are you going to do?
They're getting access to my vulnerability. I'm taking them so far under the hood. I'm putting myself out there for them and putting Azamara out there for them to see it. No, truly, they're getting a sneak peek of what's to come in a way that we normally and a lot of brands would not be comfortable sharing. So we're very, very grateful, and we'll also serve them a lovely lunch in the process.
Very nice, very nice. Can you give me an example where with your brand council in the US, where they came up with something and that you really, you instantly act, or you made changes and took for the better for the trade?
100%. So the most recent one in history I had the pleasure of sitting in on a couple of months ago was having to do with our suite inclusions. And it was very, very simple. We've got a very competitive, excellent suite product for our guests that choose to sail in that type of cabin. But there was a small thing we were hearing about our upper suites who were saying, hey, listen, I know I get the liquor in the actual stateroom and I get my standard beverage inclusions, but if I'm paying that much for an upper suite, I don't want to feel nickel and dimed when I want a slightly more premium liquor.
Right.
And the other thing that had happened was with our Continental suites, which is our entry level suite, guests were saying, I really want internet as part of that package. As our CEO loves to see, it's a God-given right. So we looked at those two individual things and said, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense to make our suite competitive. And so that's what we went out and did. We actually took that feedback, integrated it into the suite inclusions. We released this about a month or two ago. So
that's cool. I remember we wrote about it. That is quite recent. So has that been well received?
Exceptionally well received. It just puts us on par, and it's the kind of feedback where you've got a great product, but there might be these little holes in it that if a travel partner says, you know what, I could sell you a lot better if you included these things, it's an easy decision to make on our part.
Yeah, and I imagine that is going to be welcome regardless of the market. I mean, all customers don't want to feel nickel and dimed as you describe it. But do you anticipate? I mean, I guess the reason for setting up a UK specific one is I guess you're anticipating some slightly different feedback because it's a very specific market and there are differences in the customers, aren't there?
Completely different. I mean, not only in terms of when you buy and how you buy and the type of vacation that you do, and certainly deployment is a piece of all of that, but also how you buy in terms of, you think about in North America, a lot of folks like to go off and do their air separately and a la carte.
Yeah.
Here, it's really important that you have a meaningful package together and a price that's representative of a full vacation or holiday. And so sometimes those pieces don't always fit together on the back end system perfectly, but there's a way. And so we want to make sure we run those ideas through both markets to make sure that they're equally successful, and we continue our growth internationally just as much, if not more, because of those great stats you were throwing out before, than we do domestically.
Yeah, brilliant. All right. Well, I've got you here, so I'm not going to not ask you about general trading. And hopefully, with the advisory panel, it'll get even better, because that's clearly the ultimate goal, isn't it, to get more sales? But tell me how things are going, because you've got a number of seasons on sale. I mean, we announced Alaska that you were looking for next summer. So there's a lot going on. What's going from our market, if I may ask you to be specific? Tell us what's been the most popular, what's trending well, what trends are you seeing, durations, etc. Tell me what's happening out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of great things going on right now. I would say we made a double down commitment to Europe for next year in terms of the Mediterranean, and making sure that that was an offering that we had throughout the entire year. And so that has been going absolutely gangbusters for us for next year. We've got a solid 2026 base that's better than we've ever had before. And I'd just say, in terms of the product that we're delivering on board, we monitor the feedback, we're listening to our guests, and so we continue to see high repeat ratios. We continue to see our NPS scores go absolutely gangbusters, higher than they've ever been. Strong survey scores in terms of officer visibility, food and beverage. It's just been a really strong return that says not only are we selling our product efficiently and marketing efficiently, but it resonates with what the guest is seeing on board, and they want to come back and sail with us over and over again.
So I don't know if this was true about Azamara, but most lines told me they went into 25 better sold than they had ever been. Yes. And you're now saying you've 26. Got an even better base for 26. So is that because you brought it even further earlier, or did you have keener pricing? I know you've had some fantastic deals for Cruise Week. We can come on to talk about that. But what do you think has driven that? Or is it just the general popularity of cruise? What would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone knows that we had a bit of a journey in terms of our separation, as Dondra says, from the mothership. And so we really needed to do a show that we had a strong base, we had our technology together, and we continue to build on that, and I think really earn and celebrate the trust and support of our travel partners. So we're definitely continuing to build on that incredible partnership that we have with the trade. When you're 90% trade, the only way that you're going to be able to grow is through that trust and support that you have together. So that's a big piece. But of course, what we want to do, as well as you mentioned it, release our deployment a little bit early, make sure that we're being communicative about the selling advantages of what we are offering and why we made the decisions that we did. And so a little bit of the early release of deployment, but a lot of it in terms of the partnership that we have with the trade.
And so you're obviously communicating better then. That's working. You're coming out a bit early, whatever, all those levers. And are you attracting new to cruise, or are you attracting new to brand? Like, are you shouting a bit louder in the market and you're getting them to switch across? They're cruising elsewhere, but they're coming to Azamara, or are you just managing to get new to cruise? Because everybody wants a bit of both, don't they?
Everybody wants both, and we're only going to succeed as an industry if we continue to get new to cruise. So I think it's important that all of us continue to share, the strengths of our individual brands and make sure that we get people on the right cruise that fits their specific needs for a holiday, because otherwise we won't succeed as an industry. So we're all going after the new to cruise. But I think what's really great in terms of the new to brand is we've really leaned into the destination immersion element, and even more so the destination immersion elevated that we offer at Azamara. So how do we get into smaller destinations that the bigger ships can't? And then how do we bring that destination on board with us? And I think when guests have an opportunity to understand, wow, going into Bordeaux, going into Seville, getting to experience the As Amazing evenings, there might have been other types of cruises or ships they've been on before, river cruises, land trips, safaris, that are starting to think about going for Azamara as well, understanding you can get just as deep, if not even deeper in some cases, into the destination through sailing with us. So definitely some new to brand shift as well.
Yeah. Well, you did talk, didn't you, about taking destination immersion, because that was your thing for a while, wasn't it? And then obviously everyone else thought, oh, we'll have it. But that was your thing. So I think Dondra talked about taking that to the next level. Obviously you got the Own the Night, which I thought was genius. That was great. And you did, I think, do quite a lot with your med shore excursions, I think, at the time. But do you feel that's cutting through, David? Because everybody needs a USP, and that clearly was a very strong one for you. And then perhaps it lost its way. So is that really what you're going for again, but saying it's that, and then some?
That is our rally cry. That is our purpose. That is our vision. That is what we're grounded by, is going to be destination immersion, because empirically it's true. 51% of the ports that we visit are late night or overnight. So 10 hours or longer or overnight. And when you compare that to the closest in the small ship destination category, you're looking at closer to 37%. So empirically, we deliver the most in terms of not just pulling into a port and then pulling away at 5 p.m. when there's that mass exodus, but allowing you to come back, refresh, go out, have a great dinner, go dancing in Seville, enjoy the nightlife of a destination, which is just as important, if not more, to fully experiencing what it has to offer. So when you go to the right places, which our deployment, I think, definitely does, and then you find unique ways to continue to bring that on board, it will be something that others will also always, post to deliver. We cruise to destinations, but I think we really, really pull on that as a USP and authentically deliver on it the best.
Okay. So that's what we're going to just keep seeing that message, because then you have to keep repeating these things, don't you? But that you need to make sure people know what Azamara stands for if you're going to want them to get behind you.
Absolutely right. It's about those small moments on a cruise ship, intimate destinations and creating unforgettable experiences. And that is what we're going to be a part of. Destination Immersion Elevated.
Elevated. I love it. Okay. And then I did mention Cruise Week. It's been quite a big deal. Obviously, this is an initiative run by Clear. But you got really behind that as well. Have you seen a big boost in the last week? Has it worked?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So our sales team is out there screaming it from the rafters. We've got some incredible deals out there right now to reward our travel partners for what they're willing to book. So yeah, we've definitely seen some volume, but it's very nice over on this side of the pond just to see everyone rally around the cruise month and really go out there to show their support by creating even more bookings, which we're so appreciative of.
Okay. Shall I ask a futile question? I always get people on and I go, when are you going to build a new ship? And I feel like I might not get to interview you again for a while, so I feel I should ask. But we did, I mean, all joking aside, I know you're probably not going to not answer that, but it is your ultimate goal, isn't it? Because you mentioned yourself, you're a small line, really, only 4 perfectly formed ships, I'm sure you'd say. But there will come a point won't there, where you're going to need more capacity if your sales are going in the way that you're talking about.
Absolutely. Listen, it's on our dream board. It's on our vision board. It's what we want to do. And it's obviously the goal is to grow. And I think Dondra's been very forthcoming with the fact that could take a lot of different forms. It could be in the form of a new build. It could be in the form of an acquisition. It could be a lot of different things that we do. But it drives us every single day with that goal in mind to get there. But to do so, we have to fill these ships and get the premium that we deserve on it, get the rate that we deserve, which we depend on our travel partners to help us do.
So, and are you getting your prices are going up then, are they? You're getting your margins up?
We are, and it's not a matter of raising price without giving more back. So even things like the suite inclusions, I think really shows we're willing to give a great value for a vacation, and we're probably still not even where we need to be in terms of the rate that we deserve. But the prices have been going up, and I think are reflective of what we offer on board and what we'll continue to do by adding to the brand in a lot of creative ways.
And agents like that, they get more commission.
That's exactly it, right? That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, is money, and that comes through the commission.
And just finally, David, because you mentioned they're 20% from the UK, I mean, that is significant. That does make it an important market for you. Do you think that, well, can that go more as you grow? Will it remain at 20%, or will it take, will the UK market take a greater share of the pie?
It should take a greater share of the pie. I would love that. And we have every ambition to. Not only do I think it's great because it really diversifies the type of people we have on board, right? You go back to Destination Immersion Elevated, and we're not a North America driven brand. You look around and you have people from all over the world. And I think it creates that nice mix that delivers on what we're promising. But no, the partners here are so ambitious. I think it aligns well with the destinations we go to. There's a great culture about the British guests that just makes a lot of sense. So I would love to see us grow. It's the reason that even our international based leadership, so not just our UK leadership, but our international leadership as well, is based in Weybridge in the United Kingdom. It's because we think there's really great growth potential out here. We just need the continued support of our travel partners to get there. I'd love to see us overtake North America.
It might be
a big, but aim high, land amongst the stars, right? Shoot for the moon, land on the stars.
I mean, you sound so American, obviously, but I do feel that there is a part Brit in you somehow. You're so affiliated. You love Britain, don't you? It's great. So
I've been made fun of it. There's been a lot of lovelies escaping my mouth very recently, and a few other colloquialisms, but we'll get there. I don't mind the transition. I don't mind it at all.
All right. Well, listen, we wish you all the best with your first trade. I mean, I'm coming to the event, but you're getting rid of the journalists. We're not allowed in, are we? Because this, as you say, it's under the hood. It's warts and all. So I won't be able to see that, but hopefully you will share, if you will, some of the feedback that they give you and what you plan to take forward and act on, because you want to deliver for this market. Please do let us know what you do with that information.
Completely. And I'll be so excited as these things come out to actually share with you, hey, listen, these were some of the things that the partners shared and what they said was going to be really important. And this is how it's highlighted in the final product. I think it's just it's going to make it feel so much better when we bring it to market and get a chance to sing it from the rooftops with you as our partner on that. So very excited to do that as we're ready.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck. Thank you for coming over. See you tomorrow. And yeah, we'll have fun. All right. Thanks so much, David.
Thank you.